music of the soul. Sweet, sublime and elevating. Cool, fragrant and sublimating is the music of the soul. Hearken in the silence of the night. Lotuses bloom. In the stillness of the mind, the spirit unfolds. In the serenity of the lake, the moon reflects. In the tranquility of the heart, the soul shines. Soft as dawn, white as sunlight, sweet as the melody of eternity. Soham Asmi, I am that am I. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. When you become deeply involved with the inquiry, who am I? Listen to the music. Turn to your soul. And as you discover, your soul is the sun, not a reflected sun. So therefore, all souls are essentially one and the same. So the identity with your little soul, Jivatma, that stops the melody of eternity. But moving away from that identity means you are listening to the music of the soul. Identified with body, you are listening to the discordant sound of mortality, all grief, etc. But as your attention moves to create melody by harmonizing the chords of your personality. And now, what opens up a window to the glimpse of eternity. That's what I mean by music of the soul. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Nilambuja Shyamal Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Ayodhya Kanda of Shri Ramcharitmanas, the Ramayana. And presently we are in the verse number 83. The context at this stage, Shri Rama is, and Lakshmana and Sita, they are preparing to depart. And the effect of this stage, the effect of their departure is causing a terrible shock to entire Ayodhya. Behind that story is profound philosophical insight into soul's process, soul's movement towards victory over ignorance, destroying ignorance and attaining liberation. That's Rama's movement. Until then, there is no aram. Aram means rest. Only when Rama is realized, aram. Otherwise, you go on saying haram, haram. घरमसान परिजन जनभूता सुतहित मीत मरहु जमदूता बागन विटप बेली मुकुम लाही सरित सरोवर देखी न जाही. Highly allegorical description with Rama's moving away. Houses, people find their houses mashan, cremation ground. And near and dear ones, bhoot prets. They are ghosts and goblins. And more shocking, sut hit meet. Your very dear children, cozy friends, and people who seem to help you day by day, they appear now like Jamadutas. Jamadutas. They are messengers of death. All the gardens and beautiful trees, they all appear having withered away. And rivers and ponds that used to give so much delight, dekhi na jahi. They become so terrible, you don't have to look at them. What does it mean? Profound insight is that if you have come to that state of developing aspiration for God realization, and that state is awakened by Kaikeyi movement, in a state where you are perfectly satisfied. But now Kaikeyi movement is spiritual inquiry, spiritual reflection. Who am I? If sensitivity develops in your personality for gaining the purpose of life, liberation, then two things become important. Practice of devotion, bhakti. Bhakti is heart-based, it doesn't go anywhere. Bharata stays in Ayodhya. And then another movement of dhyana, jnana, practice of meditation, the process of attaining enlightenment, jnana, wisdom, meditation, wisdom, and sita, viveka buddhi, intuitive intellect, all in a potential stage, but they must become active. Their activity is what, in the storyline, is the departure of Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana. And Kaikeyi's role, that was extremely misunderstood when you read as the story, and the story wants you to, because that's the kind of, gives a spicing. Each time Kaikeyi is considered dushta, kalankini, creator of all troubles. See, each person reading the Ramayana, that impresses the mind. This stupid Kaikeyi, she has not come. How delightful will be Ayodhya. But what does not occur into the mind? If that was delightful, your whole Ramayana will not be there. You will have only two kandas. So Kaikeyi's movement is inquiry movement. Kaya term, kim, who am I? Who am I? The questioning movement based on inner spiritual strength. As you begin to gain spiritual health, internal health, then you are not just satisfied with all things as they are. You begin to inquire, who am I? And the more that sensitivity grows, you begin to develop awareness that you are separated from your essential nature. You are separated from Rama. And you look at the world that has delighted you so much. The value of the world only exists as long as the world can bring you close to Rama. If the world around you, if Ayodhya is without Rama, then entire Ayodhya is ghosts, goblins. And more broadly, all the world you are experiencing and the world that will experience, led by karma, they are all gripped by ghost. Ghost is past, it's called bhoot. Everything present will turn into past. That's ghost. From a broad point of view, future is prets, past is bhoots. And you are trapped by bhoot prets, ghosts and goblins. And that you become aware when Kaikeyi begins to allow, prompt, let Rama go into the forest. This description goes on now. Hai gaye ko tinha ke limrig purpasu cha takamor pikasa thanga sukha sarika sarasa hansa chakor. Countless horses, elephants, pet deer, cows, oxen, goats, etc., etc. birds, peacocks, cuckoo birds, chakawa birds, parrots, manas, ganders, gooses, swans. They all became grief-stricken without Rama. Again, it's a subtle art. We call pathetic fallacy. If you don't live for attaining the purpose of your life, which is realization, God realization, of attaining Rama. If you don't have that purpose, that type of awareness, then the world turns into kind of a wild forest. And all living beings, you look at them as if they are without purpose, without grace, without beauty. They are all struggling miserably in this world. Birds, peacocks, cuckoos, parrots. You see them all, souls imprisoned, suffering. But when you develop the Ramward movement, Godward movement, then look at them all. The Rama is shining through cuckoos. Rama is dancing through peacocks. The Rama is permeating. Look, all the birds, etc., are so happy. Rama away, all are miserable. Figure that out. The artistic description. Simple implication. If one does not have that Godward movement and that type of a taste, then you are living a tasteless life, and the world is pouring down more and more of misery. A double trouble. You are trouble to yourself, and the world is helping you to become more troubled. राम वियोग बिकल सब ठाढ़े, जहाँ तहन मनहु चित्र लिखी काढ़े. Separated from Rama, all are agitated, and they are in a state of inertia, as if they are painted pictures and they are just staying like painted pictures. That's kind of a description of if one lives without purpose, without the awareness, without the understanding that your life must flow in accordance with integral yoga for attaining liberation. If that attitude is not there, then the world you are facing is a world of calamity. Calamity. It ends up with death, no matter what it is. It's kind of a witty way of describing calamity. Kalam is time. Iti, that's the ending. All end up by the passage of time. Kalam iti. Calamity. विधि कैकई गिरात निकीनी यही दब दुसहज तसहु दिशि दिन्ही. Vidhata, the divine creator, she had turned Kaikeyi into a Bhilni, a lady from a very uncultured wild tribe. Bhaludi is a she bear. And Bhilni is very close to it. It is this Kaikeyi who has set fire to Ayodhya from all 10 directions. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 directions and angles counted, then it becomes 8. Up and down, then 10. It covers everything, all around. And all around is fire. That is the Vivek Drishti. The more spiritual sensitivity, you realize this is not a comfortable world. You must speed up your movement to attain liberation. Don't spend all your energy staying and securing the world around you. But this broad understanding has to be handled in an adult manner, not kiddish manner. Kiddish manner means you develop a mental distortion. Distortion implying, since God realization is the goal and this world is nothing, I should do no duties, I shouldn't do anything at all, and just sit back somewhere in a cave, and me and my God. That's not the message. In order to attain that state, learn to live your life with art. Live with integral yoga in your life. Turn your action into karma yoga. Your sentiments must flow through bhakti yoga, devotion. The willing process should be cultured by meditation. And your understanding movement, your intellect movement should end up climax with jnana. That as these 4 aspected progress goes in your personality, now you begin to have totally a different vision of the world. First stage, the vision is all is painful. Vairagya develops. But when you begin to progress, Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani, the entire world is filled with Sita and Ram. As long as your moha is gripping you, the world is full of moha, in kind of deluded attachment. That world is nothing but pain. You are living with crabs from all sides. And you are also a master crab. Your mantra is grab. How much can I grab? That state should be viewed as you begin to advance as a state of dullness. It's full of pain and misery, ridiculous. Sarvam duhkam vivekina. As viveka buddhi starts, all the world that says this is what should have happened, that is the highest goal, this is where you get this greatest happiness, so many millions of talks go on for tempting human mind to go after so many things. Viveka buddhi moves like a lion. All are shattering like foxes. But Viveka buddhi starts with a lion roar. All this, sarvam dukkham, all is misery. Turn to misericordia. Graceful God. I'm joking. सही न सके रघुबर बिरहागी चले लोग सब व्याकुल भागी. Now in storyline, since Rama was going away, they began to suffer from being separated from Rama. The pain of separation is like fire. And as if they are being burnt, so they began to run and follow Rama, not to live in their own houses. All those who are able to move, children and old people, they stayed. But all others began to follow Rama. Sabahi vicharu kinha manamahi, Rama lakhan siye bin sukhanahi. And they all came internally to that mental attitude that without Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, life is just empty. So wherever they are going, we will all go. Jahan Ram tahan sabui samaju, binu raghubir avadh nahi kaju. Wherever Rama abides, there we will all abide with him. Without Rama, what have we to do with this Ayodhya? Chale saath asa mantru dirhai, surdurlabha sukha sadana bihai. Having thus determined within themselves that they cannot live without Rama, that they left their wonderful homes. Their homes were not ordinary. Under Dasharatha's rule, Surdurlabha Sukh, they had more enjoyments that can you imagine even to get in the astral plane of heaven. And yet, all this without Rama meant nothing. You must realize all that is simple statement the scripture gives. All this is alpam, little, and it doesn't give you happiness. Brahman alone is bliss. What I said doesn't stay in the mind longer. But what you are reading and see the description, how Rama is going away and how all people are, and the way it is described, now it stays in you. So that's the beauty of putting spiritual teachings through Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Puran. राम चरण पंकज प्रिय जिनहि, विषय भोग बस करहि कीर्ति नहीं. Even in this description, Tulsidas ji spills out straight instructions. Straight instruction is, those who love lotus feet of Rama, how can they be satisfied with worldly pleasures? How can they be dominated by worldly pleasures? Simple way of understanding. If you have love of God, then the love of this transient world will not stay with it. If you love the sun, then the love for waiting for light display on the earth will have very little meaning. बालक वृद्ध बिहाई गृह, लगे लोग सब साथ, तमसा तीर निवास किए, प्रथम दिवस रघुनाथ. Continuing with this story, children and aged people, they stayed on because they couldn't move, keep up with people following Rama, so they stayed on in their houses. Not with satisfaction, but because they were helpless. But all others, they just followed Rama. First day, in that, as they followed Rama, first day Rama reached the banks of a river known as Tamasa River. रघुपति प्रजा प्रेम बस देखी, सदै हृदय दुख भयउ विषेखी. Lord Rama saw all these people coming with him, his heart being very tender. He felt extreme misery, pain caused by his compassionate heart. But that's the heart of God. It's again allegorical. All you live through, all the soul goes on experiencing. Who is after your soul? God. And He is so related to your soul that no matter what you do, God cannot separate the soul from Himself. So in Hindu literature, Vedic literature, they bring out statements like, there is only one area where God loses His omnipotence. He can do everything, but can't throw any soul out of His empire. So, who is loving you the most in spite of everything that goes on? Rama. करुणामय रघुनाथ गोसाई, बेगी पायहि पीर पराई. Lord Rama is embodiment of compassion. And miseries suffered by others are immediately experienced by him. His heart is touched by the miseries of people. That again is told not to help Rama to be glorified. Of course, that's one way. But to make you understand that you must grow in the image of Rama. The soul is essentially Rama. And so all the attributes that are given to God, they are not to help God. Those are to be developed by you. God is compassionate. What does it mean? You have to develop compassion. God is always peaceful. God is full of grace. God is magnanimous. God always smiles. The sky is always calm. All the clouds come together and do their monkey business. The sky smiles. Or if the clouds create a wonderful swirling dance of light and artistic display, the sky still goes on smiling. That's the state of sthita prajna. That's the state is the purpose of life. Come to that realization. But as long as you are identified with body, mind, intellect, ego, and your whole focus is handling the problems of the world and securing it in a wrong way, putting it in a wrong box in your iPad. All that files you put in your iPad, they are on shaky grounds. And I'm not talking about the technical iPad, I'm talking about the mystic iPad which works through your brain and nervous system. It's nothing but an iPad. And to be trapped by this brain-based experience, that's not your purpose. Real purpose is aham brahmasmi. No more dependence on mind and mental projections. कही सप्रेम मृदु बचन सुहाये, बहुविधि राम लोग समुझाये. Lord Rama spoke to all those people, a whole crowd of people. Bahuvidhi, not one way, many ways. Oh, I love you all, I'm with you. Go back to your homes. King Dasharatha is there, don't upset him, serve him, and so forth. And quoting scriptures. All that Rama went on doing. Kiye dharma upadesh ghanere. Quoting from countless scriptures. All dharma upadesh. Rama has no limit to his talk. He didn't need water. I'm joking. But all this was not effective. It's mohabal. Moha cannot be destroyed by straight talk, no matter how wonderful talks. The talks that inspire people to do sadhana, talks that inspire people to assimilate spiritual knowledge and grow. If you sit before an egg, go and talk. Don't stay in the egg. Have the best of talks. And the bird stays confined to the egg. A little bit kicking and motherly touch is needed. सील सनेहु छाड़ी नहीं जाई, असमंजस बस भेर गुराई. Their love, their affection for Rama, they couldn't give up no matter how much Rama has to say. Rama himself became perplexed. What should I do? He waited. And led by all their grief and the exertion, as evening came, they all went to go to sleep. Gods played their part also. They deluded their intellect, so they didn't make them sleep like doggy sleep. Everything was, the dog wakes up. They slept very profound, deep sleep. And while they were sleeping, Ram Lakhan siye jaan chadi, Sambhu charan sirunai, Sachin chala yav turat rathu, itu utkho jadurai. Shri Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, having invoked Lord Shiva, entered into the chariot and let the chariot move. But he also made the trick that the prints of, as the chariot moves, it creates prints on the pathway that will, when the people will wake up, will follow and easily find where the chariot has gone. So those prints to be effaced, mix up in such a way that they wouldn't know. So a movement that does not leave footprints, that movement Rama adopted, while others are in deep sleep. This is how you emerge out of moha. All people are like forces of moha, delusion. No matter how much talk you give, these forces will not. But now you have to trick them. How will you trick them? Let me give you subtle understanding. Say, for example, whenever people are told, practice divine virtues, complaint comes, how can I practice virtue? Everybody around me is giving me problem. How can't you trick them? How will you trick them? Do your sadhana. Develop faith in God. Faith movement tricks moha movement. Faith-based inner strength. People think that now this person, he's losing his money, his adversities are coming upon him. Let them think that way. Internally, you are becoming stronger and stronger. Your inner movement is not watched by people. You don't ask them, do you think I'm advancing? It's your inner movement. The Shraddha, Virya, that type of smriti, faith-based movement, spiritual strength, and then awakening of your understand, as if you are remembering your past, your recall. Who am I? Ultimate recall is I am Brahman. All that movement is a tricky movement. It's not seen by moha. Moha-based eyes looking. जागे सकल लोग भय भोरू गे रघुनाथ भयउ अति सोरू. Coming to storyline now, early in the morning, they all woke up, looked for Rama, and of course, there were no delays. Suddenly the news broke, cracked. Rama went away, left us all. Ati Soru, very loud noise permeated that place. रथ कर खोज कतहु नहीं पावहीं, राम राम कहि चहु दिशि धावहीं. They start looking for any track mark. No mark. Shraddha-based movement, even in human relations, someone is doing a spiritual understanding, internally digesting spirituality. Even the parents come, where have you gone? This is a track. So in all directions now they are running wild to find Rama. Ram, 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 they are all shouting. Manahu vari nidhi budasya jahaju, bhayo bikala bada banik samaju. Just like the whole ship is capsizing. In the ship there are so many merchants, and all of them seeing the ship capsize, all of them are in a state of agony. So Rama was their ship, and ship has gone away, and they are in the state of becoming as if void in their lives. There is nothing there that can help them. While this is dramatized, the message is without Rama you are void. निंदहि आपु सराहि मीना, दिग जीवन रघुबीर बिहीना. And they begin to condemn themselves. That how petty are we, how miserable are we. Better to be fishes. How great they are. They love water so much, they take that fish out and they will not survive. And here Rama has gone away and we are just dancing around. The message. Love of God should create a constant eagerness in your heart. Not in the terms of agitation, but in the terms of very joyous, spurring movement. Just like you are very hungry and a wonderful pudding has been placed before you. And all that you have done is put one little touch on your tongue, and now all your teeth are shouting. All your face is miserable. And not miserable, eager. So whenever distress is described, caused by separation from God, vira, and Vedantic term, mumukshutva, aspiration for God realization. But what highlights it? With aspiration, burning. And people go after the burning estate. And vira, separation. But what's added in pangs of separation? You are banged by separation. So there is either bang or pang. It is a joyous experience to develop a sense of missing God. And working for it. It is not a painful development. It's totally different. It is not a psychological abnormality. It is super psychology. Lacking that type of aspiration, every person is kind of sick personality. You become so sick you don't know how healthy state looks like. Jo pae priya biyogu bizikinha, taukas maran mange dinha. If this was the plan of God, to separate us from Rama, why didn't that plan allowed us to die like the fishes do instead of waiting to be united? Again, the message is that's not the solution. Life, study scripture and come to realize the world is painful, life is full of struggle. Then the limited mind develops, and what's the use of living? Let's find a method to put an end to this life, quick. And people actually do it. But that's going in a negative direction, absolutely negative. यही विधि करत प्रलाप कलापा आये अवध भरे परितापा. Following the storyline, ultimately they can do nothing. They return to Ayodhya with a sorrowful mind. And their state without Rama, that state cannot be described. They continue to maintain their life. They didn't commit suicide. But for 14 years, they awaited for Rama to come. Avadhi asks, just try to understand the little beauty of the literature. Avadhi asks for Ayodhya. If you want to be settled in Ayodhya, Ayodhya is that state of liberation, where Yudhya is not there, there is no fighting, all fighting terminates. If you want that, have patience, Avadhi. Patient, persistent sadhana. Without Avadhi, well spent, you cannot go into Ayodhya. Ram daras hit name brat, lage karan nar nari. And all this while waiting for Rama to return, how did they spend their life? They began to practice nema brat. Name refers to niyam, yamas, niyamas. They began to do sadhana. Vrata relates to fasting. Fasting and worshipping God, that's the way every vrata is observed. But subtler meaning, allow yourself not to have wrong diet, wrong listening, wrong seeing. Allow yourself to fast in relation to that type of diet. Go after sattvic diet. In other words, satsanga, japa, bhakti ras, get all this type of nourishment. Shuddhahar. Manahu kok koki kabal deen bihin tamari. And while they are doing, inward, they began to develop viraha state, the constant becoming increasing awareness that I am separated from God. Just like lotus without the sun rays withers. All these again allegorical, you don't completely wither away, but the inner connection with God becomes more real in your heart. And as I have already explained, it is not a distressing movement, it is a joyous. If you are really developing separation from God, that separation is a profound, thrilling experience. But when you experience separation in worldly sense, then it's like a thorn entering in your body. But divine separation experienced, all these unknown thorns are being taken away. When you take the thorn out, it's painful. Push the pain in, thorn in, that's another. There is a difference between these two pains. So with this we conclude. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Am Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Ramayana Namah Shivaya.